consciously eating.
Alright. Another day, another video. Today we have the first best of 3 Team Niget versus Team Beatflitz. And 2 friends meeting each other. Steveinator in red and ItzJ in blue. On a map which is called Acadia. And Steveinator is actually the creator of it. So I expect him to know all the intricacies. But for sure, ItzJ will have made his homework and also knows this map, I guess, pretty well, honestly. Expect nothing else from him. We see that Steveinator was a bit earlier with the house. Means if they both go 4x, Steveinator will be a bit earlier. Yeah, there we see it. So the Rex is up here for Steveinator, and ItzJ is going for kind of a scout or something. Maybe he expects some kind of tower or something around the space, and gets down the barracks as well. So both players with the same idea for the opening, but we see, yeah, that Steveinator was just a bit earlier, tiny bit better with the opening. I think the mining and stuff is not effective. Okay, ItzJ having 1 worker more, but right now it's not showing in the income. Really, it's really a slight difference. I would go so far to say it's neglectable. Yeah, then we see the first raider for Steveinator, and I guess, yeah, ItzJ doing the same, also opening with an raider. So interesting to see how they follow up this opening. I mean, Steveinator still needs the 11th worker, whereas oh no, actually ItzJ also building his 11th worker. So interesting to see that they're that same or that close to each other, despite the fact that Steveinator got his radar out a bit earlier, but makes no real difference. But interesting, as you can see, or as you have seen, he blinked immediately, which makes him. Ooh, that was a close call, I think. That was something. Oof. Did Steveinator practice this little trick here with going out of the vision and getting in? Was this something like his plan? Did he really just practice this? That would be awesome. So we see Steveinator is actually going for the first worker and will definitely kill it. And on the other side, Steveinator sent his raider over, and ItzJ is going in and also killing a worker. So let's take a look at unit lost. Yeah, so the worker for ItzJ goes down. And the second raider is coming together with the first one. And Steveinator will go in with 2 raiders at the same time. And here we see, yeah, also Steveinator lost a worker. And will definitely lose the second one if he's not careful. Yeah, there it is, the blink. And yeah, we see another worker dying for Steveinator. But Steveinator taking another worker, but he's not attacking the raider, so kinda strange. Okay, and ItzJ damaging a few more workers, getting a few more hits in, and meanwhile we see that Steveinator absolutely crushed ItzJ on this part, because he killed 2 raiders already and 3 workers. And I guess he killed the worker here, so he killed 1 worker and... No, 3 worker and 1 raider here on the side of ItzJ, which is huge, but obviously, I mean, he has 2 raiders. And on the other side, ItzJ was only able to kill 1, with 1 raider, he killed 3 workers. So really good trade for Steveinator, obviously, who now has 3 raiders already. And ItzJ obviously understanding the game state and knows he's very far behind, and it's very risky right now. He's setting up a tower, a defensive one. ItzJ losing another raider, I guess. And actually, Steveinator gets away with another one, but loses another one, but also like the trades are heavily in favor for Steveinator. My god, 5 worker and 3 raiders killed and traded for 3 workers and 2 raiders only. Which brings us to the income tab to see what the difference really means, and we see that it's close to 200 gold difference already, and the total mining as well, Steveinator is 200 ahead, so a huge difference. I think a huge and very good showing from Steveinator and what he's able to do. And I really like this trick in the beginning. I think that enabled every play we see. And actually Steveinator brings an archer now. And it gets a third. And a second archer is coming. So really working with... Ooh, killing another raider. So ItzJ losing another raider for nothing, literally. Also, ItzJ cancelled the tower, interestingly. So he's not afraid anymore, I guess, because he has so many workers here. And it looks like ItzJ tries to go for some kind of a Hail Mary play, or rather attempt, yeah, to take a third as well. And Steveinator, just because he's so ahead, can very, very carefree take the third. And it's, in fact, already close to finish. Yeah, and ItzJ still struggling to get up with the units. He has 4 workers less, which is huge, especially for the early stages of the game, and we are only 5 minutes in. Yeah, and the third base will definitely not go through. Steveinator reading the game, checking the third, but I guess he cannot see. Yeah, now he sees it, and I guess he will kill another worker. Yeah, and ItzJ a bit off with his with the position of his raiders. He will lose another worker, and the 3 raiders cannot really help it. Yeah, pulls another worker, and now he's 6 workers behind. No, actually, yeah, there are 6 workers behind. Yes, the docs doesn't look too good for ItzJ. He's 24 supply right now versus already 37, and the second Rex for Steveinator coming, workshop coming. So I guess we will see archer, soldier, catapult stuff. Yeah, but Steveinator will definitely lose this archer, right? This archer will definitely die. There's no way in hell it's gonna survive. Yeah, it's down. But now, like, 3 archers and a raider are definitely superior to 2 raiders. And yeah, we see Steveinator in a very comfortable position, producing workers. He's at 23 workers right now, 6 workers in ahead of ItzJ. And ItzJ, yeah, kind of, yeah, okay, he goes into catadrops with the advanced workshop and the catapult out of the workshops. I think he, yeah, ItzJ will try to get into the game with good catadrops. But man, loses another raider. Steveinator really, really onto something here. And yeah, it looks like Steveinator really practiced for this match and for this matchup especially. He's really, really performing. We see a second Rex, but yeah, everything is so late for ItzJ now. He's so behind. I think there's no way in hell he can go back, come back from this. And we see 50 supply versus 27. Yeah, that's hard. That's hard for ItzJ. I think taking the third was a bit too early. He should have tried to get at least equal footing with the supply and the units. Steveinator slipping up, not reacting in time. Was a bit late with his reaction in general. Loses a raider and an archer for free so far. So ItzJ really, really getting out with the raiders and killing stuff. Really well done by ItzJ. Nice kind of hold. But yeah, just by the production which is coming now, and also an advanced workshop for Steveinator too. And yeah, that's looking a bit grim for ItzJ. But he's fighting. Airship comes out, first catapult is out. It will be interesting to see if ItzJ really gets to the point where he can drop. Oh, interesting. So he doesn't want to drop his catapults, really. He wants to drop the raiders and archers. That's an interesting choice. And the catapult is very, very out in the open, kind of without any security. Only 3 workers to repair it. Not sure if that's the right idea. Steveinator could just move out here and have a really good push against the third with 65 supply versus close to 50 now. I mean, ItzJ is catching up, kind of, but this push will be deadly as Rick and Hell. Nice drop here. He can, ItzJ can just get a catapult for free. First catapult out for Steveinator as well, airship, I mean. And the ballista's coming. But ItzJ now moving towards the main worker line. And I think there's nothing Steveinator has on his side of the map to fight this, really. He goes into attack mode with the workers. Nice pickup micro here. But also, this airship is already severely damaged. Yeah, but there's nothing to attack it. And yeah, ItzJ is doing a hell of a job. Really good. And multitasking, because his third is attacked now. And nice position from Steveinator, building a tower up here. Kind of fortificating this position. Losing a catapult, but another catapult is waiting already and the tower is finished. And down here we have some units. And they will take care of business down here. So the third from ItzJ looks pretty dead to me. An airship flying in, but it's empty. I guess ItzJ lost all the units he had up here. And yeah, Steveinator now bringing his own units in an airship. Doesn't look too good. Still, there's really... I mean, ItzJ kinda holding this third and not losing it entirely, but also, like, how much unit did he lose here? Absolutely stunning. I think 3 catapults, and in general, like, it's heavy. It's really heavy. And if we take a look at the units, like, ItzJ tried to catch up, and he kind of did as well. But I think he's so far behind now. I think Steveinator could even take a 4th base now and just be good. Interesting drop. I think ItzJ went for a 4th actually, very, very early. And yeah, Steveinator just staying on 3 base and playing his advantageous position and investing everything into towers and the fortificating into fortifications of this position up here. Yeah, 2 ballista is a bit much, I think. I would like to have 1. Yeah, I would, if I would be Steve, I would keep 1 ballista here just to be able to defend everything ItzJ may want to try to drop. And yeah, now ItzJ is kind of forced to move into. We'll kill this worker, I guess, but the 3rd tower comes up. And yeah, with 2 catapults already at the point here, yeah, there's no way. And ItzJ thinking the same and surrendering the game. I guess he saw the soldier drop here. And yeah, he's not prepared. The tower is not even close to finish. Will take I think 10 seconds maybe. Still. So yeah, really, really, really well played by Steveinator. Let's move on to the second game. Alright. Second game, we have it. Steveinator in blue, ItzJ in red, so they kind of changed places. It's the second game, it's Xenos. Xenos is a pretty familiar map to all the active ranked players, and obviously to ItzJ and Steveinator as well, because they are long-time players. And we see actually Steveinator pulling a worker early and sending it across the map. Maybe that hints at something proxy. I don't know if Steveinator is a beast player that much. I would expect it's gonna be a Rex. Maybe 2 Rex, maybe 1 Rex even. To just have the pressure here and get up a natural base. And especially because in the first game he kind of excelled and was a bit ahead when it came to radar micro. I can see Steveinator pulling a win here with a proxy Rex. ItzJ playing Beast now, moves away from Rex. I guess he kind of has to admit that the first game was a bit not so great versus Steveinator's, and Rex versus Rex usually is about skill, especially if it comes to radar and archer micro and stuff, and also the transitions. And yeah, it's just with the wrong idea to keep one radar at Steveinator's base. So let's see what Steveinator learned besides from that he's very good at radar micro and maybe a bit better than ItzJ. What his idea is now. Okay, he puts down a second Rex, so we will see a pretty all-in-y game plan executed by Steveinator. So you want to produce constantly, which means you really can't afford to mix in another house, which makes this build a bit kind of hard to pull off, to really produce constantly. But also you don't want to lose your raiders. So Steveinator will be forced to go back if the raider is too low, and also Steveinator will try, or should try, to avoid going into the base too deep, because surroundings are the death to raiders. You want to use your blinks to get away from the wolves. And right now, I mean, wolves is, I think, a very good answer, especially if it's one den versus this proxy raider idea. Interestingly, Steveinator decides to blink to get one attack in on this wolf, and Steveinator actually moving in with this worker who just built the Rex, and we see Steveinator already taking damage, way more than necessary, and wow, really taking a lot of damage. Nice position for the tower here. Not sure if it... Yeah, okay, I mean, units can not get in, but how much units do you need to kill this tower now? And yeah, the raider is very low. This wolf will definitely die, but also the raider will die. That's huge. That's absolutely... That's too huge. I think Steveinator lost the game right now, because he lost the raider. If you don't lose the raider and tank so much damage, I think Steveinator can really make the most out of it. But he still kills units left, right, and center. A few wolves already dead, like 3. And also the workers. He killed already one worker and will most likely... Yeah, okay, this tower goes down. If this tower goes down and we don't... Yeah, and we see there's a bit of lag in production. So Steveinator not up on the Rex producing raiders, which is a huge mistake as well. And he will most likely lose one more raider now. Okay, ItzJ just leaving. Yeah, just letting this raider live. But also Steveinator again, like versus wolves, it's hard to microman, especially if you don't produce more raiders. Yeah, now he slipped up again and took a lot of damage. I guess yeah, that's not looking too good. Oh, okay, and Steveinator actually sent one raider back, and he will definitely lose this raider if he's not blink. Yeah, okay, he didn't blink, so yeah, that doesn't look too good now. Yeah, Steveinator pretty much GG at that point, I would say. What do we see? Oh, we see the famous Zelos 3 den by ItzJ. So 2 dens more. If you have enough workers, you can actually support 3 dens. And yeah, I think ItzJ right now just needs to produce units, really. There's nothing Steveinator has to really fight off the wolves. Kills another one, nice catch. Using this kind of vision disadvantage for ItzJ. Wasting the blinks like that is, I think, not really the right idea here. Killing another wolf, not too bad, but honestly, the raiders without mana and both are at 50% life. Yeah, it doesn't look too good now. Let's take a look at the units in general. So we see Steveinator is already 3 workers down, and there are 2 more very healthy full mana raiders, and they will be able to help with the defending of this position right now. But yeah, ItzJ in the driver's seat, kinda. Getting more wolves is maybe enough. Maybe he needs some snakes even, but I think just producing and not getting supplies stuck now with wolves is absolutely enough. Loses another wolf. So the micro still is very even between these players, I would say. Also another blink, taking 2 more wolves out. Yeah, now ItzJ has to run again. I mean, he could have just, I don't know, not go that deep into. But I think with the amount of wolves, he is very close. And also, like, the vision now is very bad for Steveinator, and he sees it and needs to retreat. Versus so many wolves, there's not much you can do with all the raiders. Only one hit and run each. Yeah, that's hard to micro. And yeah, ItzJ doing a good job here, just pulling back the low wolves and having the green ones in front all the time. And yeah, the raiders are now kind of retreating into the edge of the map, which is, I think, very bad for him. And yeah, it's ItzJ knowing what's up and how to play this. Sends around 4 beasts, four wolves here to go up and kind of surround these raiders, because that's what you usually don't want. And you try to avoid for all costs. Also, the position is nice by Steveinator here. Just on this chokes, there's so little space that he can, yeah, kind of micro it a bit better. But you see the raiders are dropping, and kind of. I mean, 3 of the 4 raiders are now pretty useless because they are so low and no mana and stuff. So he can really use only 1 raider right now sufficiently. And we see another army, especially with snakes. That's very, very, very dangerous for Steveinator. But Steveinator got an advanced workshop for some reason, and he got the natural, most importantly. So if he holds this one, maybe he can win the game because he's on 2 base and not 1. But I think ItzJ just has too many units. I mean, 50 supply versus what? 22, and we see so many low raiders, and they cannot really hold this and help in the defense here. And the tower is not up. There's nothing really for Steveinator to do versus this amount of wolves. And yeah, he calls GG. So ItzJ takes this game, doesn't get cheesed, and off we go. Off we go into the 3rd game. Altitude, a very nice map. Unfortunately, both players didn't notice that they are playing the wrong version. You want to play the Altitude LE, stands for Leather Edition. It's a bit more balanced. The mines are a bit more apart, so kata dropping is not as strong as on this version. But anyways, they didn't notice. They played, and I just hope nobody will complain if he loses 2 backdrops. Yeah, other than that, it's a nice map. It's the 2nd map I created. Yeah, it's less altitude-like than Ice Cold, according to Square Root, which is very funny. But anyways, let's take a look at the game. So both players staying with their colors this time, I think. Or no, it's the same colors as in first game. So ItzJ in blue, 2nd player, and Steveinator in red as the 1st player. Both opening with the same timing of their houses. No, actually I think Steveinator was a bit later. Yeah, Steveinator playing Rex, ItzJ playing Beast. So we see ItzJ completely moved away from the Rex play. And thinks that his Beast play is maybe superior, a bit better than Steveinator's Rex play. And I kind of have to agree. The Raider micro was not really on the level you need to control the Raiders, especially when you play versus Wolves. And yeah, means Steveinator lost the last map. So we have 1-1, and it's gonna be interesting. It's the first 2-1 series. The other match, which was played until now, was Square Root versus Weird Red, which was a clean sweep for Square Root, and was a 2-0. So really looking forward to the first 2 points for each of these teams and 1 point for the other. Okay, so ItzJ sending his wolf over immediately. Will meet with a raider from Steveinator around here, I think. And yeah, and then we see how the game goes. Okay, now both players know what's up. Steveinator, again, using his blink for nothing, kinda, and actually leaves ItzJ's wolf in, which is, I think, a huge error and a mistake on Steveinator's side. And another wolf will get in here, very, very hard to deal with, because they are so fast. And even if you have a raider, this raider, I mean, the first worker is already dead, but also ItzJ leaving Steveinator's raider in, but Steveinator not controlling his raider again, or not properly again. Kills a wolf, okay, but he will also lose this raider, and Steveinator just loses the raider for no reason. I think he's busy with killing the wolf here, but really, I mean, and now he starts building the expansion, the castle here at the natural with his damaged worker, which is a huge mistake, and he will lose the second one. Can you believe it? Like 2 raiders, 1 raider and 2 workers are dead already. And yeah, now Steveinator has to bring in more workers. ItzJ also slipping a bit in micro, losing this wolf sooner rather than later. But Steveinator, yeah, I don't know. I think Steveinator is behind already. The mining on ItzJ's natural already started, and ItzJ on a way to put down a very early third castle, which will make him be ahead even more. And we see Steveinator is kind of expecting that, since the radar out and scouts the first third base location. But actually, ItzJ decided against going for a third, and instead he puts down a second then and a snake charmer, which is the right call, I think, because he is de facto ahead. Just lost 2 more wolves here. Yeah, I think a bit unnecessarily. He could just be home now, get the numbers up. And again, we see a third den. So maybe that's ItzJ's idea versus Rex nowadays, in general. Just a bit snakes and 3 den production. But on 2 base, that's way easier to execute. Oh, no, Steveinator blinked and oh my goodness, what the heck, Steveinator. Maybe the nerf's getting to him. Maybe he feels the pressure now because it's the 3rd game and he has to win this for his team. And yeah, okay, he kills 1 worker, that's nice, and he now has 3 raiders. Okay, but he chooses to attack the den now for some reason. And ItzJ slipping up in the main, not finishing the 3rd den. But the first snake is out, which means the raiders will have kind of a bit of a hard time. And it's Steveinator actually sending a raider here for some reason. Not sure why. And yeah, both players are now kind of retreating. ItzJ finishing his 3rd den, and in the meantime, we see in Steve's base he's preparing for some nasty catapult drops. Catapult drops are great, as I already mentioned in the beginning, on this map, especially the version which is not, yeah, kind of balanced a bit, because you can drop from up here on this part. You can drop from here, obviously, but you can also drop your catapults here, attack the castle, and up here or down here rather. Same goes for here, and also this is very open, so you need to cover the space kinda. And yeah, also from up here you can drop behind this behind the workshops here. You can position your catapults. So it's really it can be really troublesome to deal with cata drops on this map. And we see it's just kind of moving over with close to 50 supply versus close to 35. So Steveinator not producing Rex units, but instead he goes for 1 catapult and yeah, the advanced workshop. I like this position of the tower, honestly, because it can shoot down, which will help securing his 3rd base. But I also think that but I think the tower cannot secure this worker up here. And interestingly, Steveinator going right at it, sniping a snake. And yeah, we see 4 dens producing now. 4 dens constantly producing wolves and snakes, and ItzJ's 3rd base is up as well. So I think there's absolutely no problem for him supplying that production with a sufficient gold. Yeah, and this worker will definitely go down, because the catapult is doing a friendly fire, which is not optimal, of course. Steveinator completely stopped producing stuff from the Rex. 2nd catapult is coming, and we see a bit of a, yeah, I don't know, this beast army will definitely wreck everything Steveinator has right now. And it's coming. It's coming more and more. We're at 70 supply now for ItzJ. So just by taking a third earlier and in general being a bit faster than Steveinator and handling things a bit better and doing less mistakes, even though they are little, puts ItzJ so far ahead he can just outproduce now. And yeah, I mean, there's no way this third will be saturated at all at any time. Steveinator decides to actually fly away and try to Keta drop. So it's kind of the reverse version of the first game, where Steveinator was on 3 base and was able to really push ItzJ, and ItzJ tried to Keta drop back into the game. Oh yeah, I don't know. Doesn't look too good to Steveinator, honestly. He's also hiding his units in his main, in his natural for some reason. I would just engage. He has the 3 workers, 4. He has already 4 soldiers. He has 2 catapults. He should really just move out. I mean, just hold position at this place, surround with the workers, repair, and then the rest is A-clicking. A move. But yeah, ItzJ now seeing that there's space to move in, and kind of decides to do so. So I would like to have these catapults snipe the snakes and just kind of choke. ItzJ right now is kind of working against itself. So yeah, we kind of see the downfall of Steveinator now. I guess he tried to Keta drop here. Not sure if he killed anything. Okay, he killed 2 workers, but I think that was the beginning, right? Yeah, and ItzJ is kind of prepared with the towers. I think there's 1 tower missing in the main. But yeah, it's really... Okay, now Steveinator dropping the catapults here to kill the tower. Not sure if that's the right idea. And we see... we kind of missed it. Yeah, ItzJ kind of suicided all his beast units here. And now it's 60-60 again. But there's a 4th base coming for ItzJ. And there's also a tower finished who already attacked Steveinator's Zeppelin, airship. And yeah, there's no damage. There's 1 ballista now, which will definitely hunt this airship down. And yeah, ItzJ really well microed airship ballista micro. Really good. And yeah, I think he's too close. He can just, yeah, shut it down. And yeah, there you go. 2 catapult dead. Nice hold position here with the soldiers though. So Steveinator kind of secured the 3rd base. Let's take a look at the units. And yeah, we see it like 36 workers versus 25. If we take a look at the income, it should be apparent. Yeah, it's 200, 300 gold difference. And a lot of wolves now out here. The Gatling gun is, I think, handy for call drops, but I see only 1 call drops. I think there should be way more. And looks like Steveinator will try to actually... yeah, not sure. I mean, you're gonna fly over with them, or what do you do? There's 2 airships with catapults in it. And an airship with ballista in it. Not sure what ItzJ's idea is. He kind of contains Steveinator right now. I think that's the idea. And we see all the beast units coming in. 90 supply versus 80. So the supply difference is not that huge. But obviously, I mean, 2 animal testing lab now. Yeah, ItzJ currently supply blocked a bit. But he will definitely, with 2 more dens now, he will pump out units like crazy. And he will also upgrade some units with werewolves. And here we see the fight going down. Steveinator dropped all the catapults and was able to somehow, yeah, let this airship in with loaded with wolves. And there's no ballista. I mean, he queued one ballista, but he is supply blocked. So yeah, Steveinator kind of fighting on two fronts now, and I think it doesn't look too great, honestly. The ballista will shoot down all the airships, but there are 3 airships for no reason. I think one would be sufficient completely, and yeah, ItzJ doing another unloading the last of the wolves here, and kind of moving in now with the other side. The tower is not repairing for some reason. Yeah, this is so cramped up here. This space is so cramped. Very hard to micro, very hard to send all the units where they need to be, and very hard to control even. And we see 2 more dens now, so we are on 8 dens. We see no upgrades for werewolves, but I think that's not really needed. And we see the upgrade for the castle, so we will have a fortress and dragons in the long run. If Steveinator can hold this somehow. But yeah, it looks more like it's not really a hold. We see no cold drops, honestly, but we see some hold position micro, and yeah, now the wolves run around, and yeah, they just take care of business here. Steveinator is putting up a good defense, but he's kind of overwhelmed with the multitasking right here. There was a wolf in the worker line he just ignored, and we see so many snakes. So ItzJ deciding to be very heavy on even more deads now. He's deciding to go very heavy into snakes, and now he will start producing wolves again, I think. And yeah, it's just very hard to deal with. Like this whole area here needs to be guarded with towers and workshops and stuff. I would always build here to have some area to work with, where my units can freely move into. And maybe I don't know, maybe use this choke and also these choke points here for the beast army to go through, and then you can position your catapults nicely. But Stevie didn't, and now he kind of pays the price for it. I mean, he does a good job of using these airships to pick up and drop the units and the catapults, but in general I think, even though this hold is great, he's just so far behind in gold mined. He's already 2k behind, even though he lost less, so it's only 1k difference really. But 500 gold or 600 gold more mining for ItzJ means he can literally produce from all dens and just rally the unit here. And Steveinator right now slipping a bit. He's floating gold, close to 800 or close to 1000, sure, in a few moments. And sending back the catapult is maybe an issue. Maybe he needs more production, like another workshop would be helpful. Nice position of the cutter though, sending it back so it can fire like from here. It can cover all the area here. That's very long, very wide range. But yeah, I mean, as I said, right, you can just rally the units here and overwhelm your opponent. I mean, I think ItzJ didn't drop under 100 supply for quite a while now, and Steveinator's still struggling to get to 100. Still floating gold. First upgrades coming in already? Yeah, already we have the damage upgrades, so the beast unit's only getting stronger. So yeah, Steveinator really has to do something. His mine is now mined out, so he can transfer all the workers over to his natural, but not too sure if that really will be of much help. 2 towers to take the 4th base soon. Nice idea though. And at the same time we see... he tried to drop units. I see. Okay, he tried to tower rush here and have some catapults. Interesting. And he seems to be a bit, not very happy with himself. I guess he, we missed the cutter drop attempt here, but it seems like it didn't really work out. And we see like they were coming 3 dragon lair. So yeah, really nice series though. 2 friends going at each other, very respectful with each other, but also very hands-off and just playing for the win. Nice series, very close, honestly. So yeah, I love it. 2-1, GG's to both players.